Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be watching a video called NASCAR versus F1 Incredible Differences. So I don't really know much about either sport, but I do think that the main difference is the car. Obviously, like the racetrack is different. That's a given because NASCAR, if I'm not mistaken, is just like one circular track, and F1 obviously is like they do it like on different tracks, on different like roads in different countries. So it's like, I don't know, you can go like bend over, straight, curves, whatever. It changes. But NASCAR is always like just one circular track. And also, I believe the main difference is the car. Obviously, like the cars look very different. Like just looking at the car, like it looks very different. And also because I think the NASCAR car, I think they're all the same. Like, I don't really know what teams participate on it, because I do know F1 is sort of like Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull and all those sort of like famous, well, Red Bull, not really, but a lot of like famous car manufacturers. But in NASCAR, I don't really know what sort of like teams participate in NASCAR, if it's all like private owned teams, or if you're gonna find like Honda or I don't know, like another car brand like Toyota or something. I don't really know, and because that, the car has to be like the same every time. Like the only thing that changes is the driver, obviously. But I think the regulations say that the car is basically the same. They have the same engine, and what changes is have like the decoration. But in Formula One, I know that each team has to make like their own car. Obviously, there's some guidelines that you have to follow, and that's why the cars look quite similar, but they're not really. So I don't know. I think that's the main difference, but I can't wait to find out. So let's check it out and comment, like, subscribe, and start.
Cars, check. Racing track, check. Pit crew, check. Oh, this
is like
insane.
oval, not circular.
How confusing it is. Everything is almost the same in NASCAR and F1.
Okay.
Then what can be the difference between both the sports? Are you
the cars look different
about it? So don't worry, pals. That's why I'm here. Hey, race friends, welcome back to NASCAR Zone. Genuinely, both seem to be about the same thing. Fans watch as a group of cars gather around the track while they wait for the checkered flag to fall. Both of these motorsports are known across the country and around the world. In the end, they are all pretty much the same. They all wait for one driver to cross the finish line while the others fall behind. There are stars in both of these sports. There's a lot more to NASCAR and Formula One than what meets the eye, whether it's the rules, the technology, or the way the races are set up.
Of course, the rules are about to be different.
Let's talk about the most obvious ways NASCAR and Formula One are different. But before that, please hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel to get every single update about the channel. So let's get started. When you look at the cars used in NASCAR and Formula One, you can see that they are different.
It's different, yeah.
Sedan body that NASCAR chose is meant to be a good representation of the cars that most people drive. The driver is safe inside, and the wheels are right next to the frame. Aside from all the advertising, it wouldn't be too strange to see one of those cars on an American highway. But you won't see
they look regular.
On a regular road that looks like a Formula One race car.
Absolutely,
not with its wheels and open seats.
No.
That's why you never have to put Max Verstappen next to a NASCAR car with his car. The look of a Chevy, Toyota, or
That's
Ford
the
stock
champion,
chassis
right?
is changed to make a NASCAR car. In Formula One, on the other hand, teams have to make their own cars.
Yeah.
F1 cars are made to be as fast as possible in any environment. They have sharp noses that cut through the air to reduce resistance. Not to say that NASCAR cars are fast. Formula One cars go 233 miles per hour on average.
Yeah, it makes them faster,
while
right?
NASCAR cars go 200 miles per hour on average.
Yeah.
This means that the strategies you need to use to drive in each type of race
are very different.
The difference of 33 miles per hour doesn't change how fast the cars seem to be going when you're watching them live. Formula One and NASCAR are very different in terms of business and prestige. Formula One makes a lot of money. Each year, it brings
I would guess so, just NASCAR.
$5 billion. But with $3 billion in worldwide earnings,
okay, that's insane.
NASCAR is worth twice as much as Formula One.
What?
You can only dream of these insane amounts, don't you think? Leave your message in the comments. Lewis Hamilton, the highest paid driver at F1, makes about $40 million a year.
Wow, that's an insane amount of money.
Make less than $10 million, including salary and bonuses.
So how come they have a bigger industry?
There were 4 million people at Formula One races. but only 500,000 at NASCAR races.
Oh,
Formula
wow.
One may have a few more people watching it live,
Yeah.
but it is more of an international sport. There are races
True.
all over the world, with
It's
one
true.
in North America. But NASCAR races take place almost everywhere in the United States. Even the
Oh, but
United
it's, yeah, it's
States
US
thinks of it
based.
as a regional sport. What do you prefer to
Oh.
watch? To F1 or a crazy NASCAR race? Let me know in the comments. And finally,
Wow, that was
from a
so
business point of
interesting.
view, NASCAR is an organization that is self-run and only concerned with the game. Formula One, on the other hand, is just a part of the FIA, which is in charge of
What's
many
that?
other motorsports organizations as well.
Like
the rules of both these
Automobile
sports
International,
are quite different.
International.
The tracks
something?
for NASCAR are all ovals, and cars can only
Oval.
turn left.
It's true.
Formula
Yeah, it's not
One
round.
tracks, on the
Oh,
other
you only
hand,
turn left.
can be any shape as long as there is one loop that connects everything. All
Of
kinds
course,
of loops
yeah.
and turns are added to the mix so that F1 cars can go in any direction. NASCAR does not allow telemetry. Once
What's
the driver
that?
is in their car on the track, they should pray and hope that their team has made it as good as it can be. They can
Okay.
change the ideas and plans, but they can't change the car itself. But in Formula One, measuring tools and
yeah.
laptops are fine,
It's
and
true,
drivers
yeah.
are not forbidden from turning their cars during a race. In addition to things that aren't allowed, Formula One cars can't touch each other when they're racing. Not only is it against the law, but it
Of
is also
course.
very dangerous because they are
You
moving so
crash.
fast. In NASCAR, hitting the other drivers is allowed and has become an important part of most teams' plan.
What?
Even
Dude,
though pit
that guy's
stops are a part
flying
of
on
both
the
Formula
air.
One and NASCAR to make sure the cars can run without stopping for the whole race. The reasons for them tend to be different. Since NASCAR
That's
races are
insane.
longer, they have to stop at least once to change
they're
tires
longer.
and fill up on gas. F1 rules say that a car has to use at least 2 of the 3 different types, so it needs to make at least one pit stop. The formula for Formula
it's a
One
rule.
doesn't take into account refueling though. Since the 2009 season, it has been illegal because it is dangerous and expensive. F1
Yes.
cars, on the other hand, don't have to worry about the ban because F1 races are much shorter than other races. Formula One races are usually only about 185 miles long, while NASCAR races have more than 300 laps around the track. So, a
300
NASCAR
laps?
race can last up to 4 hours, but a
Oh my
Formula
God,
One
4
race can
hours.
only last up to 2 hours. How much time matters is a big difference between the two
That's
when it
insane.
comes to time-based rules. NASCAR is a lot like baseball in that there is no
In what?
official clock, so the race goes on until
just-
all the laps are done.
Yeah, however
Formula One
however
races,
time
on the other
long it
hand,
takes you.
can be called after 2 hours, no matter how many laps have been done. Even
Okay.
bigger, the length of the
It's over.
season is different between the two groups. At the very least, there are 36 races in a NASCAR season. If you count
many
the
are
Busch
they in
Shootout,
F1?
an all-star race, that number goes up to 38. On the other hand, only 19 races are held in F1
Yeah,
each year.
because I was gonna say it
One
looks
driver
like
has been
about
named the
30.
champion in both of these seasons. Another catch is that there is no one way to get the title. The point system is used in both Formula One and NASCAR. In
Okay,
NASCAR,
makes
the
sense.
end-of-year playoffs are based on how many points a driver has. Through a series of races, the winner is chosen from the 16 drivers who made the shortlist. Formula One, on the other
Oh.
hand, only uses points to decide who the winner is.
Yeah.
Once the winner has reached a score where it is mathematically impossible for anyone else to catch up and pass
To
them,
go- yeah.
the driver wins. They won't get their prize until the end of the season at the FIA prize.
But they know they
giving
won.
ceremony.
Yeah.
Strategies are also different for NASCAR and F1 because each type of race car is different in length, has different rules, and looks different.
Yes.
Drivers have to come up with very different ways to win. Formula One is usually pretty easy to understand. The winner is the person whose car is the fastest. Because
Okay,
of this, teams are
NASCAR
more
is
than
not
happy
like
to
that.
spend money on research, engineering, and development. This is also why F1 cars have the best aerodynamics possible. Because
Of
of
course.
this, Formula One is known for being a very technical and scientific sport. Still,
It
there
is
are
very
some good
scientific.
moves that an F1 driver can use to even the odds. Undercutting is when a driver makes a pit stop at the right time to switch from a softer, slower tire to a harder, faster tire. This gives them a faster lap time and can help them get ahead of other drivers. But
Yeah.
for some techniques
Good
like that
strategy.
to work, the driver needs to be close to the front. If a driver doesn't do
true.
well in qualifying and starts the race at the back, it's unlikely
You
that
don't
they will
need
be
it.
able to get to the
Yeah.
front and win. In NASCAR, the underdogs shine. Even the last
Oh.
car to start can be the first to finish. Since not
Because
every
you have, like,
chassis is the same in terms of how
Interesting.
aerodynamic it is, you can use strategy and physics to help you win, which is not easy to do in Formula One. Even though NASCAR and Formula One is very different motorsports, fans of both can still enjoy the spirit of the game together, even if some fans love to battle between NASCAR and Formula One. People who watch both seasons can learn more about both the art and science of car racing.
Of course,
no matter
yes,
which one
they're
you
very
choose
different.
to watch, NASCAR or Formula One, you won't be disappointed you did. So, I think we are at the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did then, give this video a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you will never miss any update. If you have any questions or queries in your mind, tell me in the comment box. And
yeah, I thought, because I knew it was gonna be like, they're obviously like they're very different, but I didn't really understand before this like how different they are. It is true, like it's not even the same. Like the only thing that they have in common is that they both drive cars. Like that's basically like the same thing, that they are driving cars. Someone gets behind the wheel and drives a car, but otherwise they're so different. I didn't really know a lot of things. Like they're like 300. I'm stuck in the fact that they go like for 300 laps. NASCAR, that's such an insane amount of laps to go through. And of course, it's no wonder that they're like, you're gonna last for like 4 hours. Like you're just 4 hours and you're still going. It's like, it's insane. I don't really know how these people, like how these drivers, like how they're continue to drive. Like don't they get thirsty, hungry? I'm guessing they have like some sort of snack, because you can't eat, you can't really do anything, you have to like drive. But I'm like, these poor guys, 4 hours, and I'm guessing you have to like sweat a lot. It's such a taxing sport. Again, that's what I think, because again, like driving at this amount of speed for like how many laps, it's like, it's insane to me. Like, again, aren't you getting tired? Like you're getting thirsty, you're getting hungry, you're sweating buckets. Like this, I don't know how can you not like pass out or something? It's insane. I'm stuck in the fact that they have like 300 laps. That's crazy to me. It's insanity. But I like the fact that, again, it's not, I don't know how common it is, but apparently like the underdog in NASCAR tends to go like, you can like look out for the one that goes like, I don't know how many cars there are per race, but I don't know, the guy that goes in like in the 20th spot, it's like maybe he can win. So I like that. It's not like F1 when usually like if you're last, like it's like 1 in 100 or in like 1,000 that actually do make it out. And like, oh, you won after starting last. Like that probably has happened like a few times, and it's not that common. I love the fact that NASCAR is like, no, it's really anyone's game. Like you can start first, and maybe like again after 300 laps, like maybe you can easily end up last. You can really maintain that momentum, and it gives you, I think, a lot of space to like maybe correct mistakes. Maybe like that lap you didn't really go that well, or maybe you had like a few laps that you weren't driving it at your best. But then maybe because it lasts so long, I can recover, and then maybe you can get a podium. So it's very interesting. I didn't really know that. Also, I think that something that was like struck me was the amount of money that this industry is like they get. I would think maybe like F1 is the one that's like more probably like more that it probably gains more in revenue, just because like they said it's international. Because it's international, I would think like it's the greater is the amount of money, right? Because it's like a lot of countries, of course they're gonna earn more money. But NASCAR is like a bigger industry, although it's only in the US. That's insane. But even more insane to me is the fact that the NASCAR, the one that wins the more, the one that probably the better driver, or I don't know, maybe it's the better driver, but the one that's like the highest paid, not always is the one that like he's the greatest, but I would guess it's among the greatest. He only wins, I think, like only like $10 million compared to Lewis Hamilton, who like wins a $40 million like a year. That's okay. Like that's way too many compared to the NASCAR guy. So it's like, okay, I really understand like how that works and how the other they have more in revenue. But they don't really, I think maybe it's because it's more expensive to maintain, and that's why like they can't really afford to pay the drivers that amount of money. I don't know, like it's crazy to me, the amount of like the difference in salaries that they have. Although again, I know it's not the same sport, it's very different, but again, I would guess it was more similar, like their salaries were more similar, because they're just, you're behind the wheel of a car, and that's the basic. But it's crazy to me that they're not even in the same ballpark. So it's okay, it's crazy. But yeah, I think it's also like quite insane to me, like how little people actually like watch the NASCAR. They were like not even 1 million people that actually go and watch the race live, because I would guess, like, again, it's like a very popular sport. So I'm surprised that by the amount of like how few people actually go, especially if you compare it to Formula One, which is like, I don't really remember, but it was in the millions of people. So it's like, okay, that's kind of crazy. But again, maybe it's the fact, like they said, it's international. So because it's international, it gives more opportunity for people to go, and it's more of an international experience. And again, it's like, oh, they're coming to my country, I want to go and watch them. Otherwise, but NASCAR is only in the US, so maybe people are like, well, maybe I'll go next year or something, and it's like, and then you never actually go. It's something like that. But yeah, it's crazy. I think they're it's funny that they mentioned that it's like if they have a little bit of oh, my sport is better than your sport. F1 fans and NASCAR fans are constantly like fighting each other, because to me it's like I can't help to notice the similarities between like soccer and football, American football, because it's sort of like the same thing. It's like US against like the rest of the world, and it's sort of like it's similar in that sense of like NASCAR is something like so American. It's like they said, it's like it's basically an American sport, which again, surprised, because I don't know why I thought that they did it in other countries, but again, it's like something very American apparently. So it's funny that they're like constantly fighting F1, which is like the international sport, to put it that way. So it's like soccer and football, which I know that the sports are not that similar at all. They just involve a ball and that's it. So this is like the same. It's like the same. It's always like the same fight. But again, in this case, I think they're so different. They kind of look the same at first glance, because you see a car and someone that drives a car, but it's very different, both of them. So yeah, this was incredibly eye-opening to me, and I felt like I learned a lot about NASCAR. So yeah, that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.